That's a huge wave though. What kind of wave is that? Oh no. Cat comes down, that would be really nice. Alright, nice. That was worth it. Alright, I should order from the flash. It took so long, I thought maybe he already used it. Oh, that's cool. If there's a word there, I don't mind them a lot. Diego's top. There it is. Oh, Rexy. He's probably gone home. Oh, that pin. Oh my god, Tarek. Gonna do it. Nice work, Tarek. Oh, the Diego, no! Just hurt him with a loop before I go. Oh, almost got him actually. Just got finished him. There was no running go. Most I could do is self kill. Hey dude, you're the guy from Moscow, right? Danny? I should have just smited that. Well, actually I got another smite. And... is there? They don't have a ward though. But, Akali's a little scary. Oh, I should probably help him fight bottom. Oh my god. I can just hope they don't check this. Nope. Ah, that sucks. Into bot bottom. Gallia does a good job zoning too. Yeah, I've been seconding jungle lately, which is pretty alright. Like, both mid and jungle can roam a lot, which is nice. You get to have a lot of influence in the game. How are you feeling, man? Did you find out if you have COVID or not? You went in for a test, right?
Rampage.
Oh, our cat is doing so good. Oh no, she's been helping. So bad. You know, I almost feel like we could fight that. It's so close. Oh, well, we got a flash anyway. Tornado. Oh, Viega's still looking for it. Oh, nice. That's really COVID lasts like weeks. So annoying to have. Probably counter gank for this guy. Maybe we can kill the Twin. Or she's the pink there. Does he have TP? Oh yeah! That cat jumped to me. Oh my gosh, tornadoes hurt. Yeah, the music was kind of loud. For me too, honestly. Still kind of learning the volume mixing here. Do you guys listen to metal in Russia? I know it's big in like Germany and stuff. Wind Dragon in a minute. need 900 for that. It's almost not worth it right now. You get like that, and then like these. Oh, thank you. Oh, nice job. Got follow so nice. Ooh, yeah, he's done. That's free dragon after that. You're probably trying to take the flowers. Oh yeah, I was asking if metal is popular in Russia. Oh, man, the sunset is amazing today too.
An ally has been slain.
I know, the sunset is crazy. So pretty. Oh no, my dude! He's coming, you gotta get back to me. Oh, he's maybe got it actually. Nice, dude. Just wait in case it's a gank. It'll be fine. Oop. Yeah, we have a super nice view. We live like in New York area. We have a nice view, not of the city, but still nice. Oh, and oh god, might be dead here. Could have ulted away, I guess.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Oh, nice. I gotta gank the vein some more. The Trundle can shut down Vayne pretty good. Let's see. 1750. Boom. fight up top. Cat roaming. Yeah, all three of them are probably gonna follow top. Especially follow two. Senior, everybody flashes away because they know the ult's coming. So they've got like 4 for Herald now. I don't think we can test it. No. I don't think it's worth flash fighting. Oh, that was great though. This team is awesome. He flashed right into me. Our cat is so fed. It's probably over now. And now they're dead for dragon too. Maybe I should have popped Herald. We could have taken like in-head.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Oh, whatever. The boards are worthless. A cheeky no smite. Yeah, this game is going so well, mostly because Katarina roams nice, and she's super fed now. I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do about that tower. And look for a pick in the back here. Pick on the vein. Ooh. Next is Gwen. Just run back to us for no reason.
An enemy has been slain.
Can we just end with Herald? I actually have 4 dead. Nice, he saved it from me getting hurt on that thing. Oh, he lost some health there. Bottom tower next, maybe? Yeah, bottom's probably next move. Akali is not really one we can just help him kill. Diego is. He's probably doing his wolves or something. I'd rather kill like Quinn or Vayne, but I mean, we can take this guy as a consolation prize. Maybe not. Can't even hurt him. Too much magic to do. I'm not gonna fight that Quinn. Not unless I get the jump on her. Oh, Baron? I guess we probably have room for Baron with 2 inhibitors down.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I know they're not coming. Yeah, ADC is not fun, especially when you have like Katarina and Evelyn on the enemy team. But I don't really like playing ADC much anymore. funny you can do that on towers, like towers count as a wall. Yeah, I guess pushing bottom is the next good move. Oh no. At least team is pushing bottom with the space we created. They're like all responding middle here. Oh no. Not quite. Oh, the Quinn. The Quinn is so strong. The cat's just ending it, I guess. So, I mean, that works. Oh my god. Chimpo's dead. Wow. The guy's too good. Oh yeah, Zoe. Man, Zoe's hard to play though. You gotta be good with positioning and stuff. I've actually only played her like once or twice on ARAM and stuff. Play Xerath is kinda similar because he's also long range.
Today, we're taking a closer look at Elon Musk's Neuralink brain implant company and what it means for the world going forward. Could it be a cure for blindness, paralysis, deafness, and mental illness? Or is it just a Fitbit in your skull? Let's have a look at where this new generation of technology is leading us, some practical implications, and how you build a business around brain implants. Disclaimer off the top, I am nowhere near a medical expert. I've just watched a few episodes of Grey's Anatomy, and everything in this video is based on speculation. Do not take my advice on whether or not you should get a brain implant. I can't believe I have to say that, but such is the world we live in. Hey Elonites, welcome to the Tesla Space, where we share the latest news, rumors, and insights into all things Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk. So, out of all the companies that Elon Musk has his hand in, Neuralink is easily the most abstract and difficult to understand. There have been a lot of claims and theories made on what this kind of device could do, but so far, in real life, we haven't seen it do much of anything. The Neuralink is a very niche category of technology called brain-computer interface, or BCI for short. It's not new technology by any means. Scientists have been sticking probes into people's brains for decades, actually. What sets Neuralink apart right now from the rest of the BCI industry is that they are making a product with mass market appeal. The device is being positioned as something that everyone would want to have,
just literally
not just those that
one-shot
are
people
suffering from a disability
like halfway
or injury,
across the
which
map.
is impressive considering that a Neuralink is an invasive
It's so
BCI,
frustrating to
which
play
means it is
against
actually
too.
physically connected
You get
into the
slept
user's brain.
from
There are also
forever away, and
non-invasive
then you know
and
you're just
partially
gonna
invasive
die.
devices
And there's
available on the
nothing you
market,
can do.
but they don't work anywhere near as well. And you've probably seen the non-invasive devices. They kind of look like a weird hat with sensors all over. Those can read your brainwaves, but without very much clarity. Imagine there's a rock concert happening inside an arena and you're standing across the street. You'd get enough of the sound to recognize that music was being played in there, but you might not be able to recognize the song. Moving to an invasive BCI is like sitting in the front row at the concert. All the nuances of the performance are coming in loud and clear. So far, the problem with these invasive BCI devices is that it literally takes brain surgery to install, and that's unsurprisingly a limiting factor in their adoption rate. The Neuralink business model hinges on their device being implanted by an automated robot surgeon that, in theory,
It's not even the Neuralink that's impressive, it's the automated surgery bot, because like, even without Neuralink, that could be hugely valuable.
It would be the first ever implantable consumer electronic device, and that's why Neuralink will probably succeed with their business plan. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what this thing could actually do and why you might want to get one. The comparison between Neuralink and laser eye surgery is going to come up a lot, and that's because Neuralink is basically following the exact same business model that was set out by LASIK. And Elon has said that in time he expects the price of a Neuralink installation to be pretty much the equivalent to the laser eye procedure. Obviously, we are talking about a time far down the road. First, the Neuralink has to go through years of clinical trials before it can hit the market, and then the early adopters are going to have to pay a premium to be first in line. But eventually, if all goes to plan, the price for a Neuralink installation should be right around $5,000 in the US. The cost of the device should be pretty minimal, especially as technology progresses over the years, and as Elon says, it's basically just a smartwatch with tiny wire probes. So a few $100s for the hardware cost. It's not cheap, but it would be in a price bracket that many people could afford if they really thought it was worthwhile. Which brings us to the next point. What exactly is this thing going to do? This is where things start to get a bit dicey, because Elon and his team have been making all kinds of claims about what this technology has the potential to accomplish. We've heard everything from reversing spinal cord injuries to healing brain diseases like Parkinson's, curing mental illness, even granting digital immortality. Following the Neuralink presentation last August, where a lot of these claims were made, the MIT Technology Review published an article titled "Elon Musk's Neuralink is Neuroscience Theater." MIT pulled in a lot of reality checks for the Neuralink concept, pointing out that many of these problems might simply be impossible to solve, even with the best technology. For example, if we're going to cure an illness like depression by adjusting the inner function of someone's brain, then we would first need to understand exactly what electrochemical imbalances causes that depression in the first place. It's like even if you had a garage full of amazing tools, if you don't understand how a car works, you'd never be able to fix it. So the Neuralink might be oversold as the miracle solution to humanity's problems, but that doesn't mean it can't be incredibly useful. But
yeah, Elon and like Google and Apple and Tesla and stuff, I don't know, they all happen in America. I don't really know why. Maybe it's immigration, like brain drain from other countries or something, but all the like really big stuff tends to happen here. Oh yeah. Russia does have good like OCR companies, like optical character recognition for PDF parsing and stuff. We use like Abby Fine Reader. There's some really like smart AI companies and stuff coming out of Russia. Just not very big like global companies, it feels like. Oh yeah. Is there like, I don't know. The gist here is that there's a lot of corruption in Russia, so like the big businesses and stuff get in bed with the government and everything. I mean, it's probably the same here to a large extent. Yeah, here, I mean, the laws are kind of enforced. I feel like a lot of companies still get around the law, like Amazon is doing a lot of union busting and stuff like that, which is technically illegal. Load time. There we go. A lot of people now are worried about China, and like China is making a lot of moves on like Taiwan. Like they blocked Taiwan's shipping strait with like Chinese shipping boats or something. It's kind of like a blockade of commercial boats, which is pretty aggressive. I don't know how to feel about it. I kind of don't think America should get involved. Like, it's tricky because I think Taiwan deserves to exist as a country, but then, like, is it worth going to war with China over it? I don't think so. That's like the worst case for everybody. Like, it's probably even worse for Taiwan too, because they'll be embroiled in the war as well, and like, just nobody wins in that scenario. It's kind of like maybe let China do what they want in their area of the world. My take on it lately. Yeah. Well, that was the point of NATO, is that Russia and China can't just do whatever they want. But NATO is not really much of a threat anymore, because they're like, oh, will they really go to war with us over it? And the answer often is like, no, it's just not worth it for anybody to go to war. Then the little countries just get the crap end of the stick, because they can't really do anything. Like Taiwan, what are you going to do, right? You're just between two super giants. It's a really bad situation. Who should be gank? Gonna, not really any good level 2 ganks right now. Nice job, yeah. Bottom's too extended. Not gank. He started blue. Matthew's probably at his red right about now. I guess they don't have to worry about a gank bottom. Oh, he's got the shield. You know, I would have maybe got him with the third Q if he didn't get the shield from hitting me. I don't think he even flashed. Got one more quick gank and see. Oh no. So close. The Dota anime? No, I didn't watch it actually. I'll have to check it out. I'm not usually a big fan of Netflix originals, but like, it looks pretty wacky. Massey is definitely brown. Probably looking for my blue or something. Oh, he already got my blue. Probably already got the grab too. Oh wow, that flash. Dragon? I guess you can try to sneak that. He's probably gonna... Where would he go next? Copy at no flash. Might be killable here. Fine. Oh man, really? Dude. No, I'm dead. me. My team doesn't. I don't know if I would have tried to do that, man. Look at the creep wave, you almost could have killed Yone there. Back in the day. Can we get him, guys? This is too far back. I'm gonna recall. Maybe Lana was really weak, I don't know. Yeah, Yi is the worst. Actually, I didn't mean to share you about Yi. Nobody's middle. And the gank opportunities are not there this game. Oh man. Oh my gosh. So she's dead for that, right? Nice. Oh, double kill for Fiora. That's nice. Totally worth it.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Oh man, now Archer's is strong. Where's our Echo, by the way? Hey, it's just taking forever to walk back to the zone. His Yone is constantly up on the north side of the river. Echo! Oh man. Guy is just stoned out of his mind or something. Dude, no time for gummies, man. You gotta help me get this before you can. If he can outsmite me. At least we got the dragon. All because you missed smite. Oh yeah, man. Have a good sleep, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Try to kill. Okay, so he's down by dragon. Let's try next. Probably Yone. Their Echo is like constantly recalling.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yeah, I want to kill it. And before he just kills me here. We got Echo, so he could roam down the fight if he does come, but I guess we're fine. I'm trying to make some magic happen bottom. I don't think that was coming. Closer than I thought. Not quite.
Been slain.
I'm sorry, what's up?
Your turret has been destroyed.
I think best we could ask for here is to maybe kill Poppy. I mean, I don't think I can fight her alone. I don't even have ult. He's like 3 levels up on me. Close. Good shield from picking up the hammer. crazy said.
Ally has been slain.
We're bot. Maybe I can clear the creep wave and no, I can't even do that.
An enemy is dominating. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Hey, we could drag him now that he's dead. Wait, are they taking it when he's dead? Oh my god, they were taking it. I think we can probably take that out. It will not be ready in time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh man, that ult. Poppy's still down here. You already done this one at least. Nice, dude.
Enemy is legendary.
And this mid got so fed.
An enemy has been slain.
my god, he had another revive. Just kill me. Did we get him? Nice. Like 1,000.
An enemy has been slain.
Head up for Rock Dragon. You will be up for it. We're going to kill you. Oh, baby.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
2 Rock Dragons, that's not bad.
Have been slain.
Yeah. He's gonna definitely get that shuttle. Nothing I can do there.
An ally has been slain.
So many of them by blue. I guess they're looking for Baron. There's a pink in there. Alright, so he got a Zillion ult on himself, that's actually huge. I don't know if I can fight that. Oh yeah, we gotta get the E first. We got the E.
Shut down.
Yeah, I know what we do about Yone taking into. Can't really stop its push. He's just gonna go home with Baron. No. Easy. He's got no ult now. I'm gonna try to take the settle there. So we're prepped for a dragon, and maybe we can get Rockfall and like clutch this game. Oh, come on, dude, really? Fuck me. Do I have to smite it from under him? Nah, I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can clutch out another dragon like last time. Oh. Definitely not. Poppy's zoning me too hard. Oh, nice push though. Together we could kill you. Although you doesn't have any shutdown money, maybe it's not even worth it. Kill the Ashe, but she's not worth a whole lot either. I can't. That was the I should have killed the Yi when he was alone, then he's a lot less of a threat for the team fight. Good. Constant slow pushing, but it's actually working pretty well here. Almost. It could have gotten third or two, maybe even ended. That worked out. This guy is like a trim in your main, I know it. Just straight split pusher. And Poppy is like the counter to the Fiora because she can stop the dash. And he's still doing this well. And it costs us Baron, that's unfortunate. Almost got second turret though. Oh my god! Oh, he missed the target. Dang. That's amazing though. Why did you heal me, dude? Right. Guys, where's the team? Echo's not here, nobody's there. I can't stop that. Oh, almost. Echo almost stole that. I don't know what we're looking for unless we kill Yone, there's nothing, but then Zilch just saves all for Yone. I guess I just gotta kill Baron creeps here. Oh, that sucks. There's the yeah. Zilch. Yeah, the Yone just carried it.
The way, if you're enjoying this content, then you would love our weekly newsletter. We keep you updated with all the latest news regarding Elon, Tesla, SpaceX, and of course, Neuralink. It only takes a few seconds to sign up at theteslaspace.com. There's a link down below in the description, and while you're down there, if you could leave a like on the video, that would be much appreciated. One thing that we know is possible with invasive BCI is the ability to control a computer or electronic device with brainwaves alone. This research was pioneered at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island in 2004 with a project called BrainGate. In late 2018, BrainGate researchers demonstrated that they could enable people with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, to control an iPad simply with their thoughts. And that's the first step that Neuralink is expected to take and would be a huge step forward in the quality of life for people who suffer from paralysis. They could communicate and express themselves effortlessly. They could read, browse the web, or even create artwork just with their mind. Going beyond just controlling a tablet, using the same process, a Neuralink could control a prosthetic device. And there is precedent for this technology as well. In most cases, the paralysis is caused by a broken connection between the brain and the muscles. So we could bypass that broken link to get signal from the mind to the muscle. It absolutely is possible for people to regain the use of a paralyzed limb by having an external device that fires electrical signals straight into their muscles. A research project at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine was able to link electrodes in a patient's brain with a prosthetic device attached to his forearm. The patient, German Aldana, who was paralyzed in a car crash, was then able to use his hand to grab simple objects again. He could feed himself and even write with a pencil. The neural implants send signals to a computer, which then interprets those patterns and transfers signal to the prosthetic to fire different muscle groups. So Neuralink alone could not heal a paralyzed limb, but Neuralink in combination with an intramuscular implant absolutely could do that in the near future. Or in the case of an amputation, you could have Neuralink sending brain impulses straight into a robotic limb and having it function perfectly. Think like in Star Wars, when somebody gets a hand sliced off by a lightsaber, they just slap a new robot hand on there and they're good to go. Now, what if we go the other way and feed information from an external source into the Neuralink and then into the brain? Maybe a digital camera could become a person's eyes. Maybe a microphone could become their ears. There are already patients with disabilities who are willing and eager to start testing this out for themselves. These people will be the first wave of human trials, and Elon is hoping to have that stage begin this year in 2021. Not only will these trials be examining the efficacy of the Neuralink technology, but we will also be seeing consequences of leaving these electrode threads implanted in the brain for the long term. No one is really sure about factors like physical rejection or corrosion. We just have to do it and hope for the best. So if after years of clinical trials, the Neuralink is found to be safe and effective, then what? Well, for the people suffering from the disabilities that we mentioned earlier, this will be a game changer. They can go to any hospital or clinic that has a Neuralink surgical robot and have the whole procedure done within a single day. And once there are enough Neuralinks and installation robots to go around, and everyone who genuinely needs one has had the opportunity to get it, then what about the rest of us? In theory, any person could go ahead and get a Neuralink implanted and start interfacing directly with their smartphone and computer with just thought alone. And that's kind of where Elon is hoping to go with this. The way he sees it, we've already become part cyborg as it is with our use of devices like iPhones and smartwatches. Neuralink would simply increase the bandwidth of that connection by a huge factor. You wouldn't be limited by the dexterity of your fingers, we'd just be going straight from mind to device and back again. And that's where things really start to get fun. Imagine virtual reality gaming with no physical controller necessary. Your character in the game operating straight off signals in your own mind. Ready Player One coming true in real life. Or what about as a media player? Would we even need screens and speakers if that could all be fed into our Neuralink and then straight into the brain? Or potentially the biggest question of them all, could a Neuralink copy all of the patterns and nuances that make your brain unique and then reproduce that information in a new location? It's really trippy to think about. But the fact that Neuralink is already being thought of as not just a medical device, but more of a consumer electronic is the reason why this company will probably succeed if they can just figure out the logistics side of things. Like we said earlier, Neuralink didn't really invent any new technology, but they have figured out how to package it into a business that could succeed in a capitalist society. And that's where everyone else has failed so far. We could go back to the 90s and look at a product called the Free Hand System from a company called NeuroControl. That was an implant that allowed people with a certain kind of paralysis to regain the use of their arm. Freehand didn't connect directly into the brain. It used a sensor that was placed higher up on the body where the muscles were still active. Most patients had a stimulator placed on their shoulder where if they shrugged a certain way, it would send signals through wires into their arms and activate muscles in the hand. It was far from perfect and the system was pretty clunky, but for the 90s, it was amazing technology. And if the Freehand had been able to continue development through to present day, they would probably be miles ahead of Neuralink. But that never happened. Even though the product was working just fine, the company ended the Freehand program and basically left hundreds of people with implants in their bodies and no technical support. And the reason for all that comes down to money, unfortunately. Freehand was very expensive, around $60,000 at the time for the device and the surgery, and it wasn't covered by medical insurance in the US. So the company only ended up selling a few dozen implants per year, well short of the volume they would have needed to turn a profit. And once their investors realized there would be no growth or returns, they pulled out. And that's why Neuralink has a unique opportunity here. They're combining an affordable procedure with a multi-use device that can be anything from a toy to a life-saving necessity. If everything goes according to plan, they could be selling thousands of implants every year that could grow to millions per year. We could come to a point in the future where brain implants are as common as smartphones are now, and then there is a whole business to build on selling different apps and firmware updates to use with your Neuralink. This is the kind of company that people will be clamoring over themselves to buy shares in. The prospect of brain surgery becoming commonplace obviously sounds a bit strange at first, but coming back to laser eye surgery, that was pretty scary when it was first introduced. A robot laser burning into your eyeball and reshaping the inside. But 30 years later, it's a pretty regular procedure. It's a luxury for sure, not cheap, but not unusual either. I can see brain implants following a similar path to mainstream acceptance, and again, we're talking about something that anyone can use, not just people with certain medical conditions. Literally anyone could get a Neuralink if they had the cash and the desire. So we're headed for one crazy future here, folks. It's not coming soon, but it certainly is coming. Let us know your thoughts on the matter in the comments section below. Who's eager to get their own brain implant? Quick reminder to sign up for our newsletter for more Tesla news and speculation. There is a link down below. Interested in cryptocurrency? Check out our partners at BlockFi. Use our link in the description to
This can also be seen with all these YouTube channels that cater exactly to such a neo-Luddite audience. And since these channels attract technophobe people, quite often of a highly aggressive character.
Yes, that's right. Apparently, you've been attracted here because you're an angry technophobe who hates science. With Musk, he's poorly evolved. If only I were joking.
Technology, a good thing normally, right? I mean, advances in technology gave us some pretty neat things over the course of history.
It certainly has. It means that we no longer have to worry greatly about starvation in winter or infant mortality. It's given us some marvelous things, smartphones, MRI scanners, all things kind of curiously missing from my Busted series.
From antibiotics to long-distance communication to airplanes to computers. So people should be pretty happy that new technology breakthroughs will make our lives even better in the future.
Whoa, did you really just voice over a section about a car driving through a tunnel as...
That new technology breakthroughs will make our lives even better in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to rain on your parade, but I'm pretty sure tunnels aren't a new technology breakthrough. I think they've been around about as long as wheels.
Starship, for example, allowing us to settle on the moon or Mars.
Stop right there. We seem to have made the transition from things that are real, you know, like planes, computers, that sort of thing, to things that exist only in computer-generated graphics. But even if it were real, it's a rocket. It's not a revolutionary or breakthrough technology. It's got all of the intrinsic problems that rockets have had for the last 100 or so years. Things that I go into detail in this video. Look, the technology to get to the moon is some 50 years old, and for most of the remaining 40 years, I've been listening to empty promises about things like space station freedom and moon bases and trips to Mars.
And in America, that's given rise to calls for NASA to be given the cash to throw themselves into a new space race, the race to Mars. Landing a man on Mars means first building a station in space, and that's already an American goal.
Tonight, I am directing NASA to develop a permanently manned space station and to do it within a decade.
First for the coming decade, for the 1990s, Space Station Freedom.
I mean, we all remember Space Station Freedom, right?
Our critical next step in all our space endeavors. And next, for the new century, back to the moon, back to the future, and this time, back to stay.
Yeah, I mean, the promises of moon bases have been floating around since we first landed on the moon.
And then a journey into tomorrow, a journey to another planet, a manned mission to Mars.
It is time for America to take the next steps. Today, I announce a new plan to explore space and extend a human presence across our solar system. We will begin the effort quickly. Our second goal is to develop and test a new spacecraft, the Crew Exploration Vehicle, by 2008 and to conduct the first manned mission no later than 2014. But the main purpose of this spacecraft will be to carry astronauts beyond our orbit to other worlds. Our third goal is to return to the moon by 2020 as the launching point for missions beyond. Beginning no later than 2008, we will send a series of robotic missions to the lunar surface to research and prepare. With the experience and knowledge gained on the moon, we will then be ready to take the next steps of space exploration, human missions to Mars and to worlds beyond.
Yeah, that sounds expensive. Sounds like the sort of thing you need a lot of money for.
And today, yes, we are. The U.S. is the richest nation on Earth with the most powerful economy in the world.
There you go, Jixwan. You don't have to fantasize with computer-generated graphics about landing on the moon and moon bases. If promises were technology, we already did it 30 years ago. Oh yeah, that's right, we didn't. And the vapid promises now are much less credible than they were then. because this time they're not being made by the richest country on the earth, by an organization with a budget of 20-odd billion per year, but by some guy making fabulous promises that he's going to make rocketry, an established field, about as old as plane flight, 100 times cheaper. Promise about as credible as saying that you're just going to revolutionize plane flight, such that rather than a transatlantic plane flight costing $1,000, it's going to cost $10. Further, he's got form for claiming to make things hundreds and thousands of times cheaper, but then curiously never delivers on this. If only there were a word to describe such a person.
Or Hyperloop enabling super fast land travel.
Fantastic. If you thought that building moon bases was over-promising, the Hyperloop's been promising that stuff not just for 30 years, but for about 100 years.
So people can be really happy about such advances, right?
Oh, what new technology? Come on to nothing new. Rockets, especially computer-generated rockets, are nothing new. And the Hyperloop is just a 100-year-old corpse of an idea that Elon Musk dug up and told a whole new generation of rubes dumb enough to buy land where the tide is out that it was a brand new, revolutionary idea. I guess in many ways your question really ought to be, why do gullible people really like people telling them comfortable lies?
So let's analyze what the reasons could be for people to hate new technologies.
Yeah, there weren't any new technologies there, but hey, whatever. Let's see what you got.
A group emerged that was calling themselves Luddites. And what was their movement about? Well, the working conditions in the textile factories of that time weren't really good. In fact, they were really bad.
Truly, you have a dizzying intellect.
Would enable much less skilled and thus cheaper workers to replace them, which they of course understandably didn't like. So what did they do? Well, they started to break the weaving machines.
Yeah, I'm still not getting you here. So you're saying that the reason Reagan didn't get his moon base is because there were a load of people with really bad working conditions who were afraid that a moon-based economy would destroy their jobs? So they sabotaged the moon rockets? Yeah, you know, I think I remember that.
What started as some random distraction became a larger movement, where the Luddites destroyed lots of textile machinery and even fought the British Army. Okay, nice history, but what does this have to do with new technologies? Well, the term Luddite has now become synonymous with the opposition of new technologies.
What? You mean new technologies like the tunnel?
The same way that the Luddites tried to fight the changing times and the emergence of automation, modern-day Luddites dislike new technological development. Thus, the term neo-Luddite emerged for describing this modern-day phenomenon of hate towards new technological development. And as we on this channel deal basically only with new breakthrough technologies.
Yes, new technologies like computer-rendered fantasies.
But then why do, for example, quite a few people seem to hate SpaceX or the Starship?
Yes, of course, it's down to emotion and hate and nothing to do with reasoned arguments. Of course, Elon Musk said it. Why wouldn't you believe it? Of course, he's going to be flying Starship like an airliner in about a year's time. No backups, no planes. Every single time, just one engine doesn't relight properly. And when does Musk expect how all the bugs work out of the system and people flying on these rockets around the world like planes? Next year, 2022, 2023 maybe?
Why would anyone hate Elon Musk so much as to make videos all the time about any of his endeavors in order to try to prove that they are all a bunch of lies?
Well, maybe because they are all a bunch of lies?
What this is really all about is advancing the state of transportation, trying new things that have never been done before.
Work in Essex County, page 98, right? Yeah, I read that too.
But it would be for a fifth mode of transport.
Were you going to plagiarize the whole thing for us? Do you have any thoughts of your own on this matter?
I have a name for it. The name for it's called the Hyperloop. The Hyperloop? Hyperloop.
But is that your thing? You come into a bar, you read some obscure passage, and then pretend you pawn it off as your own idea just to impress some girls?
It's called the Hyperloop.
Hyperloop. Why would anyone try to prove that Starship, the most revolutionary development in spaceflight, is supposedly all false claims?
Because they are all false claims. In fact, a cynical man might suggest that you know damn well those videos are pretty much spot on the money. Because if they were so easy to debunk, why didn't you just debunk them? Instead, for some strange reason, you're sat here speculating about his motives.
Why would anyone hate on a potentially breakthrough transportation concept such as Hyperloop so much as to dedicate a large portion of his life trying to prove that it's all a bunch of lies?
Because it is all a bunch of lies? As we're spending a large portion of my life doing it, I appreciate that Elon Musk is just one of the people who I've debunked on this channel. One of many. I also don't know you fully appreciate that I'm a research-active scientist who, in the next week or so, will have another publication on how you can taste quantum nuclear effects. Yeah, stay tuned for that one. Should have the video up, hopefully, next week.
In order to understand why the hate or exaggerated skepticism towards new technological development is absolutely real.
Nah, absolutely right. If it weren't for neo-Luddites like me, you would all be driving around in chlorine-powered cars on solar roadways drinking your powdered alcohol with more plastic from the air and hoverboards and Triton artificial gills that allow you to just breathe underwater like you're a fish, or you'll be flying on nuclear-powered airliners and you'll be getting your water from the desert air with electromagnetic drives that'll get you to Mars in like 2 hours, or with spinning solar and energy healing. Yeah, no, you would be doing really, really well. All these things are completely possible. The only thing that stops people from living without eating for 9 years is neo-Luddite. Yeah, just because they hate technology. If they didn't hate technology, all of these things would be so easy.
In order to understand why the hate or exaggerated skepticism towards new technological development is absolutely real, we must do a bit of evolutionary psychology.
Or you could just do a bit of science and show that it actually works. Oh wait, hang on. No, you tried that, didn't you? And in order to show that the Hyperloop was possible, you managed to come to the conclusion that hot things don't expand on hot days and contract on cold ones.
Now, how this actually works is that, of course, we would see many temperature fluctuations along the entire length of the Hyperloop, meaning the Hyperloop would contract, expand, and so on and so forth along the entire length. Therefore, in reality, the length contractions and expansions would just on average cancel each other out along the way.
Bravo. Yes, having seen how well it worked out when you actually tried to demonstrate your points using science, I think I can now see why you're grasping at straws as trying to diagnose anyone who disagrees with you as crazy using evolutionary psychology. I wonder if this will work out any better for you.
Alright, we're going to draw.
We have to understand that humans are a creature of habit. If you look at human evolution, for the longest time in our history, there was almost no change whatsoever over the entirety of a human lifespan.
Yeah, here we're going to take a look at Dick One's amazing ability to look at the situation and come to the exact wrong conclusion.
The tools he was using would still be exactly the same. The tribe with whom he or she lived would still be in outside appearance and culture the same. Therefore, our brains are evolved such as to be very much adapted to slow changes, but very badly adapted to fast changes.
Which is just complete bother. When you take a kid from one culture to another culture, they adapt to it very quickly. They learn languages very quickly. Oh, that can't be right. Jix1 was just telling me that their brains have evolved to see almost no change ever. So how come all of a sudden they're almost infinitely flexible to change? Likewise, new technology comes along, like say for instance mobile phones. Was everyone completely unable to adapt to mobile phones, or did they just adopt them like it was nothing?
However, as now we live in a world of accelerating technological development, changes are happening faster and faster.
Yes, which is why when mobile phones came along, I got a mobile phone. And then when smartphones came along, I got a smartphone. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain this evolutionary psychology is telling you what you think it's telling you.
In this case, the Tesla is being channeled as the object of hate, but the hate is really towards change and the fear that they are being left behind. But the hate is really towards change and the fear that they are being left behind.
Wow, okay, so someone giving their car keys isn't because they're a jerk, say for instance, or because someone is a jerk and is jealous of someone's really expensive car. No, it's because they're afraid of change.
Of course, a dislike for changing their own old ways and their habits, which, as we saw, the human brain is really not well adapted for, due to millions of years of evolution.
Yes, of course, it's all down to millions of years of evolution. That's why people who don't like Teslas never carry smartphones, because they just hate change. It's the result of millions of years of evolution. This is why the exact same people who these cars here are notorious for burning down Apple stores. You can remember all those neo-Luddites burning down Apple stores, right? Because millions of years of evolution make their brains incapable of handling change.
But we can also see this in how the media is portraying visionaries such as Elon Musk. This guy basically wants to change the world in a quite profound way.
Cool. So just like Elizabeth Holmes, who was also a billionaire visionary who wants to change the world in profound ways.
It is thus clear that technophobes will really hate him.
Yes, although I'm not quite so sure how you know that, because a technophobe wouldn't use a computer now, would they? So tell me again how you know technophobes hate Musk.
We can see headlines portraying him as a totally crazy and ruthless billionaire who would not hesitate to sacrifice people's lives for his insane endeavors.
Let's see what we got. American total deaths, sorry, just over half a million. May 6th, the coronavirus pandemic is done. I think it's 12. About 3 weeks later, he's saying, based on current trends, probably close to 0 new cases in US by end of April. And then, because a month later things are going so well, he decides that now is the time for him to reopen his plant, asking only if anyone get arrested, it should be him.
This can also be seen with all these YouTube channels that cater exactly to such a neo-Luddite audience.
Boom, there you go, you see. It's not just me who is a neo-Luddite who hates technology. Although, curiously, my technophobia didn't stop me from working for about 30 years in a nuclear reactor and another 20 or so with supercomputers. Yeah, apparently I just can't stand change for some reason. That's why I'm so threatened by, solar roadways.
That cater exactly to such a neo-Luddite audience.
And yes, apparently you're a neo-Luddite audience who just hate technology because your brain just can't handle change, which is why none of you are using a computer or browse the internet or a mobile device or any of that stuff.
And since these channels attract technophobe people, quite often of a highly aggressive character, as we ourselves had to find out,
I'm not so entirely certain that's an accurate representation of what happened. I think a little more accurate representation is I said what I believe was bullshit. You put up a video saying that I made all these mistakes, and I went through all of your claims and absolutely eviscerated them point by point. if I'd got it wrong, I suspect your video would have been on the actual facts. Instead, the only card you brought was by you.
And since these channels attract technophobe people, quite often of a highly aggressive character,
But Thunderfoot's emotional and just hates things. And don't get me wrong, it's the best argument that you've made so far. Just not very convincing to people who care about these facts.
Whatever.
Let's just say, for instance, take your beloved white paper.
as we said before, on page 54, section 4.5.2, it is written,
The white paper, all glory to the white paper, which you seem to think doesn't contain any errors. I went through and showed that they used 300 kilos of water for cooling, and that's going to make about 300 cubic meters of steam, which just to store that 300 cubic meters of steam would be a volume about 10 times the size of their Hyperloop pods. Why don't you just address that as a single point? I mean, because ignoring the fact that virtually everything in the white paper has been jettisoned by anyone seriously looking at the Hyperloop.
The blueprints are pretty complicated.
Well, blueprints are always kind of complicated, and I mean, yes, there's math. It's like a tube with an air hockey table. It's really, I swear, it's not that hard.
2 years later,
So, I'd probably advocate wheels.
and only delusional crazies with no real understanding of physics still quote it, that single fact there kills the white paper dead.
they will cheer every time a new video is being made on why this or that invention of Elon Musk certainly won't work and why it is doomed to fail.
But it's not just Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk, it turns out, is only the 4th billionaire who I've called out on bullshit like this. Of course, there was Richard Branson with the Virgin Hyperloop Mega Center, or whatever it was. There was the free electric guy, Elizabeth Holmes. And yeah, also Elon Musk. You know, if only there was just a 10-year track record that people could judge me on my ability to call out scams on. I wonder what that would look like.
You can imagine how much it hurts me to use the word infallible. All right, he's not infallible. It's just that up to now he has never failed.
But of course, this modern-day phenomenon of hate towards new technologies cannot only be explained by evolution. There is another component at work here.
Of course, there is facts and science. For a second there, I thought you were a complete bunch of nutters, just making some appeal to emotion. Sorry, what?
There's another component at work here, a worldview. Do you have a positive or a negative worldview? Do you think that we live in an amazing and fascinating time, or in a really bad time? This is a highly subjective experience.
Yes, which is why in science we tend to focus on facts and things you can actually demonstrate. Your feelings really don't come into it.
And varies wildly from person to person, based on the circumstances under which a person grew up, and if the person had more positive experiences in his or her life, or more negative ones.
Sorry, how is any of this going to solve your expansion problem on the Hyperloop?
And how these experiences affected the person, of course. It can thus be said that people that welcome technological breakthroughs and technological changes have a more positive worldview.
I see, so people who welcome all these brilliant technological advances, like solar roadways and, oh, the microwave for cooling. I wonder how that's getting on. Raised about $1 million a year ago. They must have made some real progress from this amazing looking prototype. I mean, look at how sleek and elegant it is. Let's take a look at their latest update, Solid. Oh, after a year of progress. Well, maybe if we're more optimistic and have an enthusiastic worldview where we embrace new technology, it'll suddenly turn into a microwave for cooling. You just optimistic people. You have to believe.
Now let us take a look what the white paper has to say about this.
The white paper. All praise to the white paper.
Many people, for example, hate Hyperloop because they say high-speed rail should be totally enough. Why do we need this Hyperloop if we have high-speed rail?
Actually, I think you'll find in America the main argument isn't, oh, why do we need a Hyperloop if we've got high-speed rail? It's, we can't even build high-speed rail. Why are we even talking about building a Hyperloop? But even ignore that, actually, I think you'll find the argument more along the lines of that even if you could build a Hyperloop, which, let's be real, is just a maglev in a vacuum tube, it's going to be at least as expensive to build as a maglev. It's going to be at least as slow to build as a maglev. But of course, it's going to be hundreds of times more expensive to build, hundreds of times more difficult to maintain, and hundreds of times more dangerous. But maybe at best a factor of 2 in speed over high-speed rail. I guess it's kind of like saying, why do we bother building bridges when we can all just drive battlefields? She was built as a fighting vehicle. And wondering why everyone looks at you like you've lost your meds.
But funny that these people forget that trains were once quite hated upon.
Well, firstly, I'm not so sure that's true. But even if it were, you know what? When they were hated on, at least they existed and did something. Hyperloop doesn't exist and is never likely to exist. Because it's no more practical to build one now than it was when it was first proposed about 100 years ago.
And people back then were saying, why do we need those stupid trains? We have horses.
And a lot of people said when jetpacks first came out, why do we need jetpacks when cars work just fine? And now everyone is traveling around by personal jetpack. Oh no, wait, that didn't happen, because that would be insanely dangerous and insanely expensive, even if it were proposed by, say, for instance, a billionaire who just wants to make people's lives better.
So in the end, the worldview and the adaptability of a person to change will determine if that person hates new technologies or if this person embraces them.
Wow, that's amazing. So if someone uses new technologies, like say for instance the internet or mobile phones, and that person has an adaptable brain and a positive outlook. Oh, hang on, wait, no, that's everyone.
Of course we should have a healthy dose of skepticism and not just blindly embrace all new technologies without carefully analyzing the dangers which they might bring.
Wow, that's exactly what I do. But for some reason, you had me labelled as a neo-Luddite preaching to technophobes who just hate new technology or something.
A person with a positive worldview, mentally balanced, with a high degree of empathy, and that has a high degree of adaptability, will be very, very unlikely to scratch your Tesla with a key. Whereas a person with a negative worldview, quite possibly in combination with a low degree of empathy and a low degree of adaptability, will be much more likely to do so.
Look, I love the appeal to emotion and how anyone who agrees with you is optimistic and evolutionarily superior, whilst anyone who is critical of you or Musk or new technologies is just angry and evolutionary inferior, subhuman with a low degree of empathy and adaptability. Yeah, if only there was some impartial way to work out who is right that doesn't involve how you feel. Look, let me make this clear. They might have laughed at Galileo. They might have laughed at Copernicus. But they also laughed at Bozo the Clown. And do you know what the best way to work out whether you're laughing at Copernicus or Bozo the Clown is? To look at the facts. Something that is entirely absent from your entire video. Yeah, so on that mic drop moment, thumbs up for the neo-Luddite, technophobe, research scientist who occasionally does the odd experiment in a nuclear reactor. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on finding out how you can taste quantum nuclear effects. You can always support through Patreon if you really enjoy this work. And as ever, thanks for watching.
Destroyed a turret. Enemy killing spree.
Oh, close to that jinx up. Almost. Nah, 917. Jeez. Good. Now they know. But I think we still got it. Nice. No objectives for a while. Gotta kill Nar, although he's pretty tanky. I cannot do anything there. Too many people.
An enemy has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh no, he flashed just in time.
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has reconnected. An ally has been slain. Shut down.
Oh my god. Yeah, no taking that. You think words on dragon?
Ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Spree.
I don't think there's any getting out of this. No. Maybe I could have ulted to clear the creep wave. That is 5 top. I guess they want a Baron. At least we didn't lose either inhib with the turrets. We can still make some space. I don't know if we can stop Baron in time. Probably not. Nice.
Ace. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed Your team has destroyed a turret.
Probably all we can get, although it does look like a bunch of them are going bottom. I don't think I'm gonna press my luck up here. Nara's all by himself. Big kill if we can get to him. Use the creeps, boys. Use the Baron. Get 20 on drag. I think we just melted real quick. Wow, so fast. Oh no, he's got a second jump. Can we just end off that maybe? Oh, nice. Yeah, that Nautilus, man. Horrible attitude, too. too. Yeah, with the 18% win rate bottom.
Americans whine too much. That is the topic of today's conversation. Welcome, everybody. First of all, this is not going to be a preachy video. There's nothing worse than a mother trying to feed vegetables to their kid. You know, you were all in that situation. You don't want to eat that broccoli. And what does your mother say to you? She says, you better eat that broccoli because they're starving kids in Africa or they're starving kids in China. You know, that doesn't change the fact that you don't want to eat the broccoli. You know what I mean? So when somebody's like, oh, you should, be grateful for what you have and don't whine, it doesn't really help. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk to you from an outsider's perspective about something that I've found quite strange about the United States now that I've been living here for a decent amount of time, and even before I got here, really, and that is how Americans tend to whine so much. The thing is, I've noticed over the time of having this YouTube channel that Americans tend to always think America is the worst. Does that make sense to you? Whenever I put something out, and it doesn't have to be about China, it can be about anything, but if I put something out and I say, for instance, there's an issue with domestic abuse in China, that's just an example. You know what I'll get? I'll get a ton of Americans in the comments saying, oh, you think it's bad in China? In America, it's much worse. And then they give me some examples. Or if you talk about poverty in China, they'll be like, oh yeah, what about homeless people in America? It's much worse. So it's this very weird situation where it seems like Americans are so apt to jump and claim that America has it so much worse and is in such a worse condition than anywhere else in the world, which boggles my mind because as someone who's lived in, Africa and lived in China and visited various places around the world, America's got it good, Obviously there are problems. We can discuss those problems as much as you like, and I'm very open to discussing them. But overall, really, there's not much to complain about. But that's the thing. Americans find a way to always make America seem the worst. It's so ridiculous in my mind. So any negative topic I've ever talked about, when I talk about like the murders and stuff in South Africa, they'll be like, oh yeah, what about downtown Chicago and the gun violence? And when you consider that South Africa gets 56 murders a day, violent, it's like the rape capital of the world, it's the AIDS capital of the world, it's got like the most violent crime, nonsense going on. But you've still got Americans, whenever I talk about that, trying to say America's worse somehow because of, little regional things or little inner city problems here or something over there or a little thing that happened. It's always boggled my mind, but I've come to understand where it comes from, having lived here for a while. And so I'm going to give you my theories, hopefully clearly as possible by the end of this stream. So,
I'd still rather have that than the opposite in China where everybody is like super defensive of their own country. At least here you have the freedom to be critical of America.
First thing I want to talk about is how America is the most successful country when it comes to diversity and integration of different races. And it's the least racist country in the world. Now, hold on.
I don't know if I'd say that, but
everyone out there is going to go ape, especially the Americans, and they're going to give me a million different examples of racist issues. They're going to say, what about George Floyd? What about this guy who got shot? What about this guy who, had to deal with that? What about the Asian hate crimes? What about this? What about this? And the reason why we have this huge amount of data when it comes to racial hate crimes or instances of racism and stuff is because America's held to an incredibly high standard because they are the best when it comes to racial integration and, all different people living together. It is the best in the world, and you can try your best to dispute that, but I'll be able to knock you down, and statistics will be able to knock you down. So they're the best, so they're held to the highest standards. America fought a civil war, for Christ's sakes, to end slavery, right? When I go to the DMV here, there's like a million different pamphlets in different languages for people who want to take the tests. My wife went and took the test in Chinese, for goodness sake. They've got Arabic there, they've got, Sanskrit, Hindi, different languages for different people. It's very inclusive. And of course, I'm living in California, so it's even more inclusive. When I get my health insurance policy, there's literally a docket this thick, which says this, we are non-discrimination. This is a non-discrimination clause. And it's, again, in so many languages, I don't know what half the languages are, but they're basically being very inclusive for everybody from all different walks of life and backgrounds. And there is no barrier here in the States, because it doesn't matter where you're from. You racially or ethnically or whatever, you can participate in everything in America. You can become president if you really want. Barack Obama was black and he became president. Donald Trump became president. He's a, you're fired game show kind of guy or whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. Obviously, it doesn't matter when it comes to finance and all that. I'm not saying like anyone can just become president, but I'm just saying like there are no actual limitations. As long as you have the resources and as long as you have the drive and the motivation, you can at least participate in the same things that everybody else can. And I've seen that myself. Guys, I am a foreigner in America, but I don't feel like a foreigner in America. I know a lot of you guys out there will be saying like, oh yeah, that's because you got white skin. So you're being treated with white privilege or whatever. I'll tell you one thing. In my neighborhood, the demographics are at least 50-50 when it comes to white people versus other nationality. So I've got a Vietnamese neighbor, I've got an Indian neighbor, I've got a Taiwanese neighbor, I've got a mainland Chinese neighbor, I've got a Korean neighbor, a Japanese neighbor. Did I mention that? All in my street. Okay. In fact, when it comes to white people on my particular street, it's a minority. I think 3 of the houses on my road have actually got white families in, and the rest are just from everywhere. But you know what? They're all American. They all speak the same language. They all respect each other. You go out there and they'll be like, hey, my Vietnamese neighbor waves at me. Hey, Winston. Every time I walk out, and I'm like, hey, I won't say his name because, don't want to dox people. A lot of people don't like me, Anyway, the fact of the matter is everybody gets along. So there's this very high standard set. And I have a California driver's license, right? It's what they call a real ID. So it's a federal ID. I can use it to travel on the plane. I can use it when I buy alcohol. Anything that needs an ID, I've got it. And you know what? On that ID card, nowhere, not in one place on that thing does it say foreigner. Not in one place does it look any different from C-Milk's driver's license. You put them next to each other, they're exactly the same. So for all intents and purposes, when I interact with people and I have to show my ID or something like that, there is no difference between me and an American. Now that's how you run a country. Not like in China where you're a foreigner and, well, you're a foreigner because you're constantly called a foreigner. Everything you do, which has to do with the government or banks or travel or anything, you have to do something that's special for foreigners. You know what I mean? This is an example that I'm giving now, and I can give you tons of examples from other countries too. So America has set the bar incredibly high. And, there are no barriers as far as legal barriers are concerned. Every society is going to have social barriers, You're going to have a little group here that doesn't like another group there, and so it's kind of hard to get into that particular group. It's going to happen. But, by and large, America is the least racist place in the world. I've traveled in Europe. I know a lot of European people from different
I don't know about that.
I find them to be far more racist than any American I've ever met, and that's because homogenous, places. When you have people coming from a homogenous society, they tend to be more about us and them and the outside and whatnot. And perhaps growing up as a minority in Africa taught me to think differently and see things from a different lens. Asian people in general are incredibly racist too. Name a country, pick a country, and go see how well they tolerate others integrating into their society and coming into their society. Japan certainly doesn't like it. China's the worst. North Korea, India, all of these places are very, homogenous, and they're like, hey, we're Indian, you're a foreigner. Hey, we're Japanese, you're a gaijin. Hey, we're Chinese, you're a Waigwaran. And it's not like the States where, hey, who's able to go out and complain about racial, profiling or whatever? Anyone can do that. There's nothing stopping them. You try to do that in China, they'll dismiss you and kick you out. That doesn't make the news. And that's what I want to talk about here, is the fact that the slightest racial injustice, like somebody hurling a racial slur, not only does that make national news in America, but that makes worldwide international news. And now that is the best example for me to show how anti-racism, how tolerant, how integrated America is. Because a racial incident in China where a foreigner like myself is denied entry into a hotel, has racial slurs thrown at him on the street walking around, is harassed, anything like that, guess what? That does not make local news, never mind national news, never mind international news. Any other homogenous society, the kind of people give up. There's no reason to even complain anymore. Because when you have a racial injustice against you, there's literally nothing you can do. You can complain all you want. You know who will care? You know who will actually blast it out for you is the American media. That's who. You think Chinese media is going to report on all the discrimination against the black people in Guangzhou, for instance? Nope. Take any other country in the world, even countries around Europe. Of course, there are sensitive issues for certain countries in Europe that they will always talk about. Germany and Nazis and Holocaust and all that kind of thing. You bet your bottom dollar that's anything gets said about that, that's going everywhere. But somebody hurling a racial slur at someone in the street somewhere is probably not going to make international news. But in America, it does. So, from an outside perspective, I have never ever seen so many different races and ethnicities and backgrounds getting together as much as they do and getting along as well as they do here. I have traveled from West Coast to East Coast and back again. I've been to more states than most American people have, and that's from that's what American people told me when I talk about all the different things. I have seen the best coexistence, that's the right word. And that's probably because I come from a country which historically and presently has the worst racial tensions. As much as South Africans like to bleat on about the Rainbow Nation and everyone's getting along, that's a bunch of bullshit. People don't get along there. They get along because it's a survival tactic. Because there's a lot of animosity there between the races, and it doesn't matter which race. You can choose any one of any person that lives in South Africa. There's a lot of animosity there. So my best example of people getting along is what I see daily when I take my daughter to the park. And I take her to different parks. The parks here, at least in Southern California, are fantastic. I mean, I have seen some dodgy parks in America as I've traveled around. In Tucson, I saw, like it depends, you get nice parks too. But also, I saw a lot of homeless people in the parks. I had a guy try to steal my GoPro that I'd put on a bench to get a time lapse in one of the parks. You get dodgy areas, you get dodgy parks. But so far, in the more developed areas that I've been to, and the bigger, and I'm not saying Tucson isn't developed, by the way. I love the city for all of you guys who are, Arizona represent. It's my first experience in America was Arizona. I still love it dearly. But seriously, all the bigger developed cities that I've been to, the parks are awesome. Here in Southern California, they're amazing. And when I take my kid there, I see people from all over, and you know the kids are playing with each other. Everyone's getting along. Obviously, COVID kind of sucks a bit, so the kids can't be, you know, getting too close and everything. But everyone's having a good time. You know, parents from all over the world are playing together with the kids. A good example of this is in my local park. It was about 2 days ago. A whole group of kids, and there must have been, I don't know, sort of 6, 7 years old. They were playing a game, hide and seek, some kind of modern equivalent. They're all getting together. One of the parents is actually definitely who I've met and touched with on it was like helping them all out with their game. You go up and close your eyes, you know, like touch their heads and stuff, and like choose the bad guy or something like that. And this group of kids was made up of every race and ethnicity that's possible known to man. I really think that there's one representative somehow from every corner of the globe in that group of kids, of about 8 or 9 kids. And it was just awesome to see. So that's my thing about race here. Of course, there are racial tensions and there's all the racism and all that kind of stuff. But I promise you, from my own experience, compared to the rest of the world, America is top-notch and streets ahead of any other country. And any other country. Go ahead, fight me on this. Let's fight. Let's talk about this. I want you to go to any other country in the world and be able to replicate what I see here in the States. And the friendliness and the genuine, I don't know how to say, like, kindness that I've experienced here. So, that's that. I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback for that, but I have to tell you guys what I experienced as an outsider here, okay? I'm not American. And I just also wanted to touch on that as well. You know, there's a thing called the honeymoon phase, which I'm very aware of. And this is when you go to live in a different country or experience a different culture. And everything looks good. And you gloss over the bad stuff because, you know, you're in a new place. Everything's exciting and interesting. And when you see something bad, you don't even register it, really. The difference with that is, of course, I experienced that in China. If you watch my first videos, I'm still going through the honeymoon phase. You can tell very clearly. And it's something that happens to everyone who travels to, especially in exotic culture. But American culture is the same culture that I grew up with, you see. When I grew up in the 80s in South Africa, I was watching Back to the Future and the Goonies and, you know, every pop culture thing, the cartoons I was watching, Ninja Turtles, and, you know, this is American pop culture in my home, in my society. When I was playing with my friends, we were pretending to be Leonardo and Donatello from the Ninja Turtles or He-Man and She-Ra, whatever it is. The same stuff that came out of America was being consumed by the children of my generation. So growing up and watching all the American movies and stuff, especially as a young kid, you can't differentiate the difference. Growing up, I would say that I had the exact same, what would you call this? I would have the exact same upbringing as the average person in America, as far as I'm concerned. So when I came to America, it wasn't a shock to me. It's something that I was very, how can I say, familiar with. And that's simply because it is the way I grew up. You know, the car culture in South Africa is the same as the car culture in America. The going to the movies and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing reason, probably because it tastes so good, which tastes disgusting, but I love the idea. I just wish it was like anyway. So the food is not different from what I grew up with. The activities people do, the hobbies, the lifestyle is not different. The big difference, of course, is the safety. In South Africa, you can't just walk down the road. You can't take your kids to the park. You know, you live in a caged-off place. It's different. But here in America, you know, the safety's great. You can walk around, you're friendly to your neighbors. The mail actually arrives. The most amazing thing for me is that you can put a letter in the post box and the postman comes and picks it up and actually does something with it. And when you order something or someone sends you something, it arrives. It doesn't get stolen in the post, you know. Anyway, I digress. What I'm trying to say here is that for people who think that I'm suffering from the honeymoon period, you're going to have to rethink that because I'm not. This is a culture and a society that is the same as what I grew up in, just with better aspects, I could put it that way. So, I just wanted to get that out the way. Let's see what else I have written down here.
Can we try it? Might as well give it a whirl.
Yeah, actually, those are my main points to make about the wine. The whole thing is, I do have an analogy that I wanted to bring up, and how I understand the wine.
I could kick and then I'll
point out issues with wine about issues, like I do in my videos about the CCP, is a way for us to address the problem. If there is a problem, I'll give you a stupid example. You sit in the house and there's this draft, you know, there's this breeze, like this very cold breeze that keeps coming through. And it really affects you, it's making you sick and you're not happy with this breeze. If you ignore that, it's not going to stop, right? It's not going to go away. You are not a house builder or something. You don't know how to fix this problem, but there's a problem and it's blowing and it's making you sick and it's so what you do is you whine about it, right? You complain about it to whoever you can. You're like, hey, there's this terrible breeze in my house. I don't know what to do. This breeze is making me sick. Hey, I got to deal with this breeze. What can I do? This thing's terrible. It's the worst breeze in the world. It's really disrupting my life. Then you start discussions about it. Your neighbor says, oh, you know what? You probably have a leak in your window. I know a guy who can get it repaired. Or, you know, somebody you're complaining to is like, oh, I had that too. Or, hey, maybe let's try and find out where the leak comes from. And, you know, eventually the leak gets solved and your breeze goes away. But that breeze would never have gone away unless you started to complain about it or whine about it. And the same goes with problems in society. And it's very effective, you know. Americans love to protest and complain and whine about shit all the time. It's kind of part of the, I don't know, it's like a hobby here. People love politics. You can't get away from it. Everybody meets and moaning or whining about politics or whatever. And from that point of view, I think it's good. When there are issues, like, say, for instance, issues of police brutality or something, to whine about it and complain about it and protest about it actually puts an end to it. Or at least,
let's try it again.
You know, puts new laws in place that prevent it from being as severe or whatever.
Oh my god, really?
that's just an
Not quite
example.
in
There's
time.
examples for everything. I mean, I love the fact that, for instance, my friend in Tucson was telling me how everybody voted against having speed cameras, and the speed cameras had to go away, you know, because they didn't want it anymore. It's democracy in action there, but whatever. Whining is a good, positive thing, but it gets to a point. And I'm seeing that more and more in America. And it really pisses me off when you've got some, and I hate to say this word, but spoilt, privileged, middle-class person moaning about how terrible their lives are in America, where they don't even know what the hell a hard life is. They don't even know what difficulties are. That annoys the absolute crap out of me. And I understand it, though, but it annoys me. I'm going to give you my analogy. See, when I was young, probably between the ages of about 9 and 14, I had flat feet. I don't know if you know what that means, but the arches of your feet, right? They flatten out. It's painful. You know, it's like a genetic thing. You have to get inside support to keep the pain. But the result of this is, as you walk, it basically bends your knees towards each other and puts a great amount of strain on the joints of your knees. So it's very painful. Your knees really, really ache and hurt all the time. And of course, your ankles and stuff too. So I had this condition. It went away when I was about 14, I guess, 3 hours or whatever it was. But it was incredibly difficult for me to stand on my feet for long periods of time and things like that. So I was at this like youth camp thing when I was young with a bunch of my friends and my parents. It was like a Christian youth camp thing. And it was being held in a big old convent. It's called St. Mary's, and it's about 4 or 5 stories high. A massive big building, and a lot of stairs and a lot of up and down. And it was like a weekend thing. And I remember walking up and down those stairs because part of what we were doing there just required us to be going up and down all the time, carrying things up and down, doing all these activities. And I was really bitching about my feet, my knees. I was complaining to hell because it was effing painful. You know, you're a little kid, it's really painful. So I was bitching about it to my parents, bitching about it to my peers, my friends. You know, bitching about it to
kill
the tutors and
Karthus
stuff
when he
over
comes
there.
into his jungle.
And I was bitching and bitching, and it was the biggest problem in the world to me. And I was just like, this is, you know, this is a big problem.
He
And I
must
was
be
not.
going to his
Anyway, there's a guy,
jungle.
there
coming
who
to this
everybody
side
respected
'cause of
very much, one of
dragon.
the adults, and his name was Mr. Bergstrom, which means in
I think
Afrikaans
he'll
it
bottom
means
again.
mountain stream. That's his surname. Anyway, everybody respected him. He was a very nice guy, and he was one of the sort of organizers of the whole thing. And he died right in front of everybody
my
of
God,
a heart
really?
attack during this thing. And I'll tell you what, one thing, immediately my painful knees and feet were no longer important to me or anyone else. And it woke me up because, yeah, maybe my knees hurt, but guess what? I'm not dead. So that's my analogy. I understand. Everybody has their little gripes in life. And they become big. They become overgrown. And the longer you think about it, and especially if you're in a comfortable situation, little things start to whine about these things. And these things bug you and bug you and bug you, and you keep complaining and complaining and whining and whining and whining, and it becomes so big, it becomes so important, your mission in life to whine about this thing. But it's actually not important, or it's a very little thing. And other people looking at you whining about that think you're a petty little fool, you know? Anyway.
Karthus ult is a little scary because if he lands one Q, he can ult me.
Stay awesome. You guys are fantastic.
He's got no gap closes, so I think we're safe to take some plating. Maybe even take the whole thing if he shows his face on a different lane. Okay. There's the Karthus. No! Fuck. Oh my god, just tick tower. Tick, tick, yes! Barely. 600 shutdown goals a lot more than first tower blood though.
An ally has been slain.
Actually, I'm gonna try to stop that first. They're just gonna let him have it. That's rough. Oh, Nautilus or Assus? Oh boy! Nah, he didn't steal it, but it was a good try though. And I couldn't kill like half of them, that sucks. It'd have been easy. Everyone's so sour today. Everything's not doing bad, to be honest. Now that she shut me down, she can totally compete and fight. Ooh, God. That's gonna be tower. I don't know if we can stop. Should we try? I think we can try. Xerath's a little concerning to me. Oh, I wanted him so bad. Messed that up. Nasus is at 228. I had flash, I probably could have played that better. Flash, then the second part of R would have gone easily enough distance. I don't know, do I want to try something here? It'd be fun. We saw this stun come out. You guys see the creep wave up here? Bottom again. Always fun to go bottom. Oh my god, every time. Look for the Karthus coming for dragon. Ah, there's a pink there, that sucks. I'll break the pink, but I want to board up here in case he can stand. He's a dragon. Sigurd is, oh. I mean, please stay super close. Am I behind? Oh yeah, we got TP in this. Should we fight this? Oh man, I'm good. Tell me, right? Sorry. There's no getting out of this. Now we're 5 of them there. Bottom tower is probably gonna fall in zone. Alright. We got her to flash anyway. Oh, if that landed, that would have been sick. Is that the whole team? No. Someone's never in the fights. If it's Hecarim.
An enemy has been slain.
Maybe we can push mid now. There's probably a ward there. That's gonna hurt. Oh my god. Cosmic dive. Why is that I recommend the main color? I feel like it's pretty good. I'm gonna try it. Let's do something different. Or is it drive? Is it dive? It's good for diving. Drive. Cosmic. I love movement speed. And the haste is not bad either. Although Akali runs out of energy so fast now, I don't know even know if you need ability haste. If you just build a straight damage nowadays. To raise the energy cost so much. I think pushing out of that beat. We look for Baron now, I guess. Oh man, I slugged that so hard. There was a creep wave, otherwise the E would have killed her and I could have backflipped out of it. It would have been sick. But, oh well. At least I didn't upgrade my giant, so I don't lose any stacks. And our Hecarim is nice and fed. We try to move on Baron. Oh, we kind of have a lot of authority. Wait, excuse me? Oh, it's the scanner. Yeah, he's so weak.
Shut down.
Does Senna have ult? Oh god, no. Break these two wards quick. Actually, if Senna ults the Baron, then I'm gonna die, which will be hilarious. I won't even care if it happens.
Shut down.
I should wear gummies. If I could get gummies, then I could stay out and kill her, but I think I gotta recall. Wish he has double buffs, that would be super nice. We'll take your double buffs. And the shutdown apparently? I know where she keeps getting that shutdown from. There. Maybe we try pressure Baron. That's gonna hurt. Oh god. How did he live? Did he smite the red buff to live? Holy crap. They're too tough. Oh, I missed with E. Dang, that sucks. And if he's got ult, I'm dead, but I don't think he has it. Pretty sure he doesn't have ult. Oh, wait, shit, I'm on the wrong side of the thing, fuck. Let's go! I guess that's what happened instead it was there. So she, like, got in through the door just before I kicked her. That's pretty much in the bag. Fire drag advantage. Did that to charge up the old gold book. Are they doing Baron? Is that how she died? I mean, it would just be Urgot Karthus. I don't think they can take it alone. Oh my god, they did. What the frick? Just the two of them? That's ridiculous. I don't know why NASA stopped for blue buff when they were on Baron. I mean, odds were they weren't on Baron, but I still would have checked it before taking blue buff there. There's a tough fight with the Urgot there, but we could maybe still do it. Get the big cross thrown out. Oh no, we didn't get the Sivir? Nice. Okay. Hey, you can get out easy enough. No matter what comes of this fight, just that fire full. And with Nasus for the hyperscale late game, I think we got it in the bag. Switch to Twitch Poison, Frost to Fire Soul. Both really good. Gotta kill the 80 carriers first. I think the Sivir needs to die. If the Sivir doesn't die, I don't know what we got. Sivir in center. I need the wither now, sis. Where's the wither? What? Excuse me? I'll jump after that. Okay, they have one bottom. We should try to fight this if we can. They try to kill me. Please don't die. That was a pretty good fight, I'd say. We were there to get it. Nice. Yeah, clean up. Now Cecilia. Okay. Still got stops, so I don't have to worry about that, but especially if someone's got TP. I could honestly just go try to end it. Oops. But we live bottom for the 1 center. Ooh, man. Getting a little leaked out, but we'll do a little more. As long as my cousin's on, we'll keep doing a few more. sad that we didn't win that last one, but it was super fun regardless. Sometimes losses are more fun than wins as long as there's like some good fighting going on. It doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm gonna go anywhere with my rank in the long run anyway. Just here to have some fun, have some good plays, maybe clip some highlights. And yeah. I love that Jinx skin.
The Summoner's Rift.
I think it like maybe I'll get like a foot rest from here.
Minions have spawned. First blood.
Cool. Looks like they're invading red. Get him! Oh my god, no, he got the healing on the kill. I don't know, 80 carries usually don't take that thing where you heal on kill. That chain. Oh, there, this is supported. Oh yeah. Right there. Oh no, dude. Sorry. Ivern happened to be there, and Ivern probably just took the middle over here too. Do it. I'll go home and farm North Jungle. So she gets me set to speed up farming. the Ivern. That's not the real one for sure, yeah. Oh, he's got ult. Can you get it? Dang. We could take this dragon's up soon though. Oh, why did that tower shot go? Oh, please. That's rough, bottom. I should be giving him more attention. I'm happy with the flash, honestly. Given the flash, we can probably safely dragon. Oh god, the Morgana. Yeah, it's like the Morgana snare. Thanks. Almost to the point where I could just ult them. Not quite. Dang. Oop. Almost. Nice. Let's screw it. We've got enough people here to guard this thing. Wow. 2 minutes.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I want the Ash. Nice W. Here we go. Fortunately, they still probably can't catch her. Barely make it out of that. Ash just doesn't die. Oh man, you got it! Awesome work, guys. Let's try for the board over here quick. Pick up the blasting pod. Not put the tank down. Just marker, please. I don't have to might. Oh god, bad idea. Oh no.
Shut down. Shut down. An ally has been slain. Shut down.
Oh, Trist gone. Fine. He didn't get a kill, he didn't get the reset on his jump, otherwise he could just hop. Maybe. Is that good in reset? Do you have an assist there? There we go. Chris is pretty good. Oh man, that hurt. What was that? They popped up the Iron Shield, I guess? Maybe we can do this. I bet I could get in ult and then get out. Yeah, at least I paid for it. Could use both jumps there. But I don't think she's gonna push another wave. Nah, I've been a little scary too. And I can't get close to that. I'm sorry, dude. I totally wrecked you there. Oh my god, no way. Oh, the charm! Oh my god. Hope you didn't have fun. Funny stuff, SpongeBob. It just sounded crazy. Yeah, we should skedaddle. Maybe go for Baron. I don't know if we have time. I just scanned it. I mean, that's a little concerning. I do have, nice. engagements. It's off charm to put some black shield. What was that? Not the best, but not the worst. I think we can end on that. Oh my god, oh wow, that Q is so good! Gotta end it to it. Oh, no way. Please, creeps! Oh my god. That was kind of a clutch ending.
down here once more. I collect my pride from the floor. Beat the drum for what comes and goes. Beat the drum for summer is born.